obviously frustrated at the end of the play with the 8-second violation. What did you see on that play?
I saw an 8-second violation. It was pretty obvious. So very disappointing that it wasn't called, but it's not why we lost. I mean, we when you allow 5 home run, passes over the top with no defensive awareness for 10 points, you don't deserve to win. So loved our fight in the second half. Loved the way the guys competed. That's what it's going to have to feel like, the rest of the season. We got to bring that level of energy, but we have to add the awareness and the feel of, not giving up the easy stuff when it comes to transition, pick 6 passes, fouling when they're in the bonus. They shot 36 free throws tonight. So, too many plays that gave them easy points, and that was the difference in the game.
I saw you yelling 5 at the bench after the 5th, home run pass you're talking about. I assume that was something you were just hammering them.
It's number 5. That's the 5th one. I mean, I always feel like these games are nothing more than, a compilation of 200 plays, 100 on each end, and which team handles its business for more of those 200 possessions, Can you limit the easy stuff? Can you make it difficult? No matter what you do, the other team is going to score 100 points in the NBA, no matter what you do. They had 120 tonight. I guarantee you I'll be able to find at least 20 that we handed to them based on lack of execution. That's the stuff we have to clean up, and I'm confident that we can, but we can't just talk about it. We've got to do it.
35-9 in fast break points. What was the biggest factor there as you're talking about some of those home run passes?
Just not being aware, and then some turnovers. They got 18 points off our 12 turnovers, so the turnover number wasn't big, but there were some big ones. The play at the end of the third, we have the last shot. We got to get the last shot, and pick 6, and LeBron scores at the other end, and so we have to lock in. We've always prided ourselves on being loose and playing freely. I don't want our guys ever thinking about missing a shot or, even taking a shot. I want them to let it fly, but there has to be a sense of purpose that goes with that, and that's the responsibility that comes with, getting this kind of freedom to play. So we got to find that balance, and that's what I'm most interested in here, the last 31 games.
What did you make of the small group that started the second half?
It was good. It was good. Yeah. I mean, we wanted to change up the game. We had to throw a curveball at them, and so we spaced the floor. We hit a couple threes right away, and you could feel the energy shift. So those guys did a great job.
Coach, back here. In a couple of possessions, the Lakers were just face guarding Steph all the way through. How do you envision Jimmy kind of alleviating that pressure so that he can just get to his spots easier and open up the rest for Buddy and for Draymond and everyone else?
Yeah, I think that's a big reason for the trade is to help Steph, help alleviate some of that pressure. Jimmy's a guy who gets to the line quite a bit, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, so the possession tends to be very stable when he has the ball in his hands, and I imagine that Jimmy is going to be really important for us, both with Steph next to him and when Steph's off the floor for the reason you mentioned.
I know you said pregame you hadn't talked to him. Were you able to get
talked to him a little bit. Found out why he's wearing number 10 for Neymar. He's a soccer fan, football fan. But he's excited. We're excited to have him. And he's excited to be here, and that's the whole point of making a big trade is, you need an energy shift. And it was obvious that this team needed one. Always tough when you make these moves like we talked about yesterday. And, I hate to see our guys, our 4 guys who we traded, I hate to see them go. But you got to move on quickly in this league. Everybody does. And so we're moving moving forward, and we're excited to get Jimmy back, hopefully, for the Chicago game.
Steve, from your experience, how long does it normally take to bring in a star like this and have him adapt and you adapt to him?
I think it just depends on the player. The thing I like with Jimmy is that he's just a really high IQ player and knows how to play the game. I don't think it will take too long. I mean, it's more a matter of terminology and learning a few of our sets. Like I said, we'll try to keep things really simple to start. He's got to learn our out-of-bounds plays in particular in a few of our sets, but I don't anticipate it'll take too long. He'll obviously be in the starting lineup first game, and we'll get him out there right away, and no looking back.
How
Go-
would you process the next couple of days? Is it like, no practice tomorrow?
Right.
Is it just like shoot around, run through some
I
out-of-bounds plays?
think I'll probably sit with him, and we'll give him a video file of our out-of-bounds stuff, terminology sheet. We'll give him that stuff, and then. What's tomorrow? Friday. We game Saturday, so we'll have a shoot around and get ready to play.
Coach, Coach, you talked about the 4 players that were traded. As a player, you can imagine how it feels to be traded, but as a coach, how do you deal with that anxiety knowing that you don't necessarily know which players are leaving, which players are staying? How do you deal with that, and what's the message to the team?
The message is that this is a business, and this is what it's about, and you have to reconcile that as a player, and it's a brutal way to go about your business, where you ask these players to commit and to sacrifice for the good of the team. You ask everything of them, and then they do that, and then you can ship them off anytime you want. It's hard to reconcile. And so what my message to the team is always, especially for the young guys who haven't been through it, like, this is the deal, and this is what you sign up for. And it doesn't make it easier, but the worst thing you can do is, not handle yourself well and when it happens, and because you are your own best asset, and you've got to be that asset for the entire league, because everybody's watching all the time. And most guys end up playing for, multiple teams during their career, and the best way to handle it is just be as professional as you can and understand that it's never personal. It's just part of it.
Jimmy's effort was, called into question a couple of times this season, but then you see these enduring images of him slumped over the scorer's table after.
You're talking about Jimmy?
I'm talking about Jimmy after his Game 5 performance in 2020 or his 2023 56-point performance. When you talk about sometimes guys, you said the reason why you guys did this trade is because you needed an energy shift. Do you think an energy shift will be good for him as well?
Yeah. I think it's a great opportunity for him and a great opportunity for us. And this is often how this business works. Players sometimes need a fresh start. So do teams. That's the whole idea behind this. I know he's excited and ready to go, just from talking with him. I think we're going to get the very best version of him. That's why we made the deal. And like I said, we're got to get off and running.
Coach, first of all, good seeing you. Again, I'm Ashley's brother. Good seeing you.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. I wanted to ask you about, Jimmy and playing in split action and being able to post up. What do you foresee in him in his post-up game? Because when he gets to his spots and gets to the middle of the floor, it's a problem.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is he can settle the game down for us. Last night's game is a perfect example. 10-point lead with 3 minutes left. I'm really confident with Jimmy Butler that we're going to close that game out. We're a little wild as a team. We make some decisions that sometimes get us into trouble, and I think he will help us in that regard, and hopefully allow us to close games in a better fashion, because we've lost several games this year down the stretch where felt like we should have finished them off, and we didn't. So that's part of the idea in bringing him here. Thank you.
Great, thank you. We'll get him here shortly. Hopefully Moses getting up.